In 2006, South African-born lead singer ZP THEART and his band Dragonforce break the chart with their third release, Inhuman Rampage, with the metal classic Through the Fire and Flames. 4 years later, ZP would leave the band due to insurmountable difference. A report had surfaced that the band was playing to tracks on tour, and having too much respect for the fans, ZP refused to sing to pre-recorded music. Upon his departure, ZP founded the metal group I and released an album called Event Horizon. He also served as the lead singer of the band Tank until the announcement in 2017 that he would be taking over the lead singer duties for the revolving door that is the 80s metal sensation Skid Row. That union ended in March of 2022 without an explanation from either camp. Since then, ZP has kept out of the public eye until recently, when he has decided to put all his energies into humanitarian aid. This is a Launchpad Live and 99 WNRR Vault interview with ZP THEART.
Hey guys, this is ZP from IMI. You are listening to New Regal Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Presti from the WTF What's the Format radio show and livecast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. I love going back into these Vault interviews and presenting these great moments to you guys. This is actually the very first interview for a magazine that I ever gave, and you could tell by some of the questions that I asked, but an absolutely amazing conversation with ZP. He was kind and very, very gracious. So enjoy this one. This goes back to 2015, my very first interview with ZP THEART. Hi everybody, you're listening to New Regal Radio. This is the Launchpad. Debuting here over the past couple of weeks is I. It is ZP THEART's new band. If you remember him from Dragonforce, of course, and he's kind enough to join us for an interview, and a very, very busy man right now. So thank you very much, ZP, for coming aboard. I appreciate it.
All good, man. All good.
How you doing?
I'm great. Life can't be better, man.
Besides, I want to get right into what you guys are doing right now. And we could always talk about the past and stuff like that, but I'm more interested because obviously This Is My Life has been playing and has been actually requested. Is it going to be on the Launchpad? And then it's actually went into the regular rotation. But also heard You're the Voice. What was the reason for doing You're the Voice?
A few reasons actually. I was on a plane ride to Australia nearing the end last year, and I had my iPod on just playing random stuff, and the song came up, and like, God, I haven't heard this song since probably early in the 90s, and it's absolutely amazing, and it's got a fat chorus, and we were just about to embark on our first headline tour, and just thought, let's throw something in there for people who's not quite familiar with all our material yet, just to rope them in, and you know what, it works a charm. And obviously the lyrics hits home really hard, and together made the package. It had to happen.
That was the one thing I caught my attention, was just it was so anthemic.
Yeah.
Just the overall, just very huge. It's like the monster is walking. It just has such a big fat chorus when you came into it, and the delivery, your job on it was just amazing. So I actually like it. I actually like this version better. I think what's
well too.
I think what it did is it brought more out of what that song could have been.
We kind of did it our way, and I think it turned out really, really good. I'm really happy with the whole recording and all of that, and absolutely live, the song just rips, mate.
Now, okay, so that's the next question. When are you guys planning on getting over here to the States?
Oh, I wish I could have been there already. I started this up, funding the whole thing myself. I set up my own label, and the climate's really hard these days in the industry, and I approached a bunch of record labels, and I think a lot of people were skeptical that I could do something proper away from the other lot, and
right.
I took everyone by surprise, I think, and you know what, they were too late to catch on, so you snooze, you lose, and we had to run with it, so running with it we are, and obviously we don't have the tour budgets of big bands on record labels yet, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So The States is definitely on the top of the list. Trust me.
Okay. One question: How did the whole concept? How did I come about?
I did a bit of soul searching for a whole year in 2010. My head was all over the place. You know, I actually decided I was fed up with music. I'm fed up with the people in the industry because they're all assholes. 90% of them. Well, there's still there's still a few good people here and there, but I was really disillusioned by a lot of things in the industry, and decided, you know, I can't be asked anymore. And I had so many emails and stuff from fans just going, "What happened? Where are you? What's going on?" And you know, it kind of drove me to the point to decide I got to do it. Yeah, that's that's what I've been doing all my life. You know, I can't sit back. What else am I going to do? Wear a tie and sit in an office somewhere? That was not going to happen. So I had to knuckle it down and get back into the business and started all fresh again from the ground up.
You said, you know, as you just said, it's something that you've been doing all your life. That leads me to, you know, another thought. At what point in time did you think? At what was that watershed moment where you knew that this is what you wanted to do?
Oh, I think I was about, how old was I? 10 or 11.
Yeah.
My brother's girlfriend at the time was into a bit of rock and all that. And obviously when you're a kid, you get introduced by everything musically by your older sibling. So
of course,
he came home every weekend with all this cool stuff, you know, and he gave me this cassette tape those days. He gave me this cassette tape, Slippery When Wet, and I stuck it in, and that was it. I was sold.
It was Bon Jovi, huh?
It was, and I'm not even shy to say it. You know?
That's okay. Coming from Jersey, believe me. I mean, there's a few thousand right now people in Jersey going, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people say, Bon Jovi is soft rock or gay metal or whatever they want to call it. I don't give a shit. It's catchy, and the guy writes amazing lyrics, and I just love the band. Everything up to Bounce, I have to say.
I agree. I remember there's as far as, you know, seeing him and stuff like that, before even Slippery broke, when they went 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
They were playing stuff like, they have like the theme parks and stuff like that, like Great Adventures and stuff like that. So that was actually my first show to see him back then, before even Slippery was even a thought. And him getting involved with Doc McGee and everything like that. So, yeah, and even back then they were bringing it. They played 2 straight hours in the pouring rain.
Dedication for you, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean that proved to me that, you know, they were gunning for something, you know, and they had the songs. So I mean, keep it going. But obviously, when you get all the muscle behind you that they had for Slippery When Wet, obviously it blew up. But that's wild. That's excellent. Slippery When Wet. That's something I got to think about now. I go, I have to go rip it back out and start playing it again. I go, wait a minute, what did I see in this album?
Yeah, it's an absolute masterpiece. And even New Jersey that came just after that was just as good, you know. But yeah, Slippery When Wet was my pit of doom.
So as we start forward and start going and go back a little bit, and I asked this question to Judith, so I wanted to find out what was, you already talked about, you know, that the music industry and basically, you know, being 90% assholes, and I can't agree more with you. Is that part of the reason why the departure, or you just felt it was enough to go? Because I mean, at that point in time, you know, from a brand standpoint, Dragonforce was actually a huge brand. And was that pretty much the reason why it was just like, I've had enough here?
You know what? There's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes, and yeah.
If you don't want to go into it, that's totally understandable, totally cool.
No, There's a few things I cannot say yet because they keep running around the lawyers' bullshit, and it's been dragging on for 3 years, and we can't just get over it. But, No, if when the news breaks, it'll be quite hard hitting for the music industry, I'm sure, and I think it'll probably be the same explosion as Milli Vanilli was in the 80s. the same vibe. So yeah, no, it's there's a lot more to it than people realize.
Um, did when IMI when the concept of IMI and forming IMI came about, was it automatic as far as finding partners to be part of it, or was something that basically you just put everything together? And how did Event Horizon come around?
First of all, I still wanted to party, and I needed people to party with,
Sure.
and starting new. There's two things that people have to have. They have to be really good at what they do, musician wise, and then they have to be a cool person. Because I'm done dealing with assholes, like I said before, and I was only going to work with cool people. So first of all, the guys needed to be cool, and they needed to be able to play their instruments, and that was the two prerequisites, really. And from there on, we just roll with it. I met the guitarist, Jacob, and we instantly clicked. He's a great songwriter, and that's really what I needed. I play a little bit of every instrument, but I don't excel at anything particularly. So I needed that guy to sit down with me so we can work melodies and work songs and stuff, and that's how we needed to start. After that came drums and bass and all that sort of, and since then IMI's just been rolling.
What do you call it? Besides List Slippery When Wet, of course. What are some of the influences that spurred you on to, especially when you're trying to develop your own style? Because the one thing that is definitely listening to all the tracks and being a fan of vocals with a lot of range. When you go from Steve Perry or whatever. What were some of the influences that kind of spurred you on to create your own style?
No, I always had my own style. Everyone wasn't always happy with where it fit into what I was doing at the time.
Right.
But my influences, I'm a massive Skid Row fan. Obviously Bon Jovi and all the classic 80s stuff. I love Def Leppard. I love Motley Crue. I think music in the 80s, bands had balls and attitude, and that's absolutely lacking these days in the music scene.
Yeah.
And so I always look back to look forwards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true. Here's a quick side story. It won't be in the interview, but when I was training, I went to, I don't know if you ever heard of the guy. His name's Don Lawrence. He's out
Rings
of
a bell?
he is out of New York City. He is like he is like the creme de la creme of the vocal coaches. And when I was looking to really cut my teeth, I said, I have to go to the best. And he was on West 72nd. And lo and behold, I walk into his office and I walk into the rehearsal room, and there's platinum and gold albums around and all signed. And I was going to the same vocal coach as Sebastian Bach, as John Bon Jovi, as Jeff Tate. And I'm just thinking, well, at least I'm in the right place. I mean, at $150 for 30 minutes, I guess I'll try it for a little while. But actually a couple times past Sebastian we all sat in this small waiting room while we were waiting to do our warm-ups and everything like that. And there he sits. This before the first album even broke.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I was like, yeah, I guess I'm in the right place.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they're all hanging out there, yeah, you're in the right place.
So that's where that connection actually happened, which was pretty interesting. I later got to actually play with those guys for a little bit, but that was kind of fun, Yeah. Speaking of which I actually threw up here as I thought about it. Formally trained or self-taught?
Self-taught, mate. I've never had a second of training in my life.
God bless you.
I don't think it's hit and miss. You learn something every day. Every show, there's something else you learn. Where to pitch a certain note, or how to save your voice doing that bit. And I don't think it's stuff people can teach you. That's just stuff you learn on your own. It's trial and error, basically.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I'll be the first to say that's the one thing had the pipes but just didn't really know how to utilize them. But that's absolutely absolute gift. I mean, that doesn't come along every day, and I think that's to me in listening, that's what makes your vocals just absolutely just blows the roof off. I mean, so that's a gift, man. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Some of us got to really work at it, you know.
Yeah, no, I think probably I got a bit of a silver spoon there. I just open my mouth and it comes out, you know.
Wow.
It's one of those, but yeah.
What do you call? What a couple of things. Here's one that I really always like. The years on the road.
Yeah.
And feel free to, if you want to censor it or not, or however you want to go with this. But the craziest live story, the craziest thing that ever happened to you live when you were doing a live show.
Well, a few mishaps of people falling off the stage, and you know, that happens everywhere. If you're after tour stories, I think probably the funniest one, or the one that sticks in my head most, is we did a run through Russia, and we were on the night train from St. Petersburg to Moscow. And I got really hammered with some locals on the train, drinking this serious, I think, potato vodka or some stuff, I don't know, but I was absolutely smashed. And went back to the compartment by help of some friendlies. Fell on my bed, woke up, unzipped, and pissed all over Dave, and got back in bed and slept. Which I didn't know anything about, obviously, until the next day. I wasn't asked to do sound check because I was still a bloody train wreck.
Steve just fell off his chair.
Yeah, I came back and the manager goes, I believe it's fair to wear a raincoat when you're about. I was like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And then go have a word with Dave. So I was like, Dave, what happened? He goes, oh man, last night you pissed all over me. I saw rock and roll in it. And I was like, bloody hell, seriously? So yeah, you had a golden shower. When he was least expecting it.
Oh, that's too good. Hold on. Oh my God. That's a new one for me.
Oh,
I have yet to hear something like that. What's obviously with you being on the road, you probably keeping the iPod handy. What kind of stuff do you listen to nowadays?
When I do listen to radio to something on the iPod, I like stuff I'm familiar with, or bands that I'm familiar with, back catalog stuff that I haven't heard. I don't know. I think music these days are too overproduced, and it's just too commercial.
Yeah.
When back in the day people put on an album what they really felt like. These days they're told what to do, and that's why I kind of gravitate to the old stuff normally.
Yeah. Yeah, so do we. Yeah. There was I remember the what was it? What was the next question? It's great fitting through the editing button. Because in a couple questions we really went over like some great stuff. That's some really good stuff. That slippery when wet is really good. I love it.
It's good.
That's a good thing. Like, there's a couple people out there that have actually, I've alerted to them that I was going to be talking to you, and they were like, "You're kidding." I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding." So a couple of them was ask if you could say anything to an aspiring, especially one of them is a young guitar player.
Yeah.
If there's any word of advice that you can give for a young musician right now that's trying to cut their teeth.
Stay out of the music business. It's a joke. If you want money, get a real job.
Yeah, exactly. Try to do that in this country these days. Good luck.
I think it's trying to do it anywhere in the world these days. You know what? Music is the one thing where the physical part of it has been taken away with the cassettes and the CDs and stuff. And because it's online, it's free property to anybody these days. And Why would you pay to get something for free?
Of course, yeah.
But it's not free to record that album, but people want the music for free. So it's kind of catch-22, you know. I know a lot of musicians these days, they just cannot make it anymore because they cannot recoup their expenses.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a tough industry these days, absolutely tough. And I suggest musicians go on a 6-month strike to teach people how fucking boring life is without music and make them appreciate it, because no one appreciates it anymore.
Let them go back to listen. I hope you pick up the drums and play some bongos or something like that. How does that sound? beat on a kettle, beat on a pot for a week, and let me know if you find any music there.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I hear you. I kind of agree. That's actually pretty. That would actually be pretty interesting to do. Maybe we should try that. Maybe we should just like tell everybody on the station.
You know.
All right, everybody, strike. Don't listen. Don't do anything, and see how boring your life is.
Yeah. And then appreciate music a little bit, and appreciate how hard it is to actually bring that music to you in the little disc or an MP3 or whatever.
Amen.
You know, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for free. And why should anyone get it for free? It's like you said, you guys go out and buy CDs. You know, these days when you bring out an album, you send a copy everywhere. Everyone gets a free copy, and he still has the audacity to tell other people how shit this copy of music is he's just gotten for free. If he'd bought it and he doesn't like it, fair enough, then spill the beans. But if you get something for free, you know, bloody hell.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave a couple things right after this, but I'm gonna leave a parting shot. If there's anything you want to say to everybody, listen, it's because of you know, music like yours and music like everybody's that's played on the Launchpad that this thing has absolutely gone ballistic. I'll tell you like a quick little backstory. I was one of those guys. I was in marketing and promotions for 20 years.
Yeah.
Worked with MTV, MTVU, the whole 9 yards. Worked on the Absolution.
When was MTV?
When it was MTV, exactly. And you know, worked on some things where we like the Muse tour. It was a college tour when they released Absolution and stuff, when they were really starting to break. And I actually was one of the too old, way too much money. Goodbye. And I created my own company, and then this was actually an evolution of that company, was to create the station, but to do it a different way. To buck, you know, as we got this one thing, buck the system to fuck the system.
Yeah.
Because we're tired of the way that the system treats every band. We're tired of the way that it even treats the listeners sometimes like they treat them like they're idiots. They're not. They're very savvy. And
they don't they don't know how savvy the listeners are. They take them for granted like they're all a bunch of sheep.
Yeah, exactly. Like they, follow me. Let's get 10,000 Facebook likes and we're okay to go. No, it's so much more than that. But just something to say to everybody else that's listening.
What I have to say.
keep on going.
Keep on going.
Go for it.
First of all, yeah. You know, if you like what you hear, go on our Facebook site. Actually, unfortunately, that is the way to go these days, to show people that there is interest in your band. Is by the amount of likes you have on your page. It's sad, but it's the reality we live in these days. And so if you like what you hear, go on there, like us, request us to come to the States. We so desperately want to. It depends on so many things, but we really want to come down there, and I hope before the end of the year we can make our first trip down there. We had the Whiskey already ring us up and say, dudes, if you guys want to play your debut show here, by all means, come down. And
Whiskey, awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's just the next step that is needed. You know, first of all, because like I said, we started out from scratch. We don't have the promotion budget of big bands or labels and any of that shit. A lot of people in the States have not heard a word about this. You know, a lot of people in the UK hasn't heard a word about this. So spread it. Just tell as many people as you can about IMI and say IMI and take a pause and then realize what you just said. And that counts for everybody. You know, IMI is I am me, so is everyone else. You know, it's more personal this time, and I think it's good to grab people on a personal level before anything else, to make them realize what life's all about. And start from the bottom and get back up there.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Just a good conversation with a good person. And
Fantastic.
And thank you. And I applaud you for doing what you're doing, and having the mindset that you do, and doing things the right way, and just being a good mate about it.
Absolutely. Let's catch up and continue this conversation very soon. Nice one.
Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.